Okay, it's that time for your 15-minute writing activity from Jesse Stong and Playwright's Workshop, Montreal. I hope my microphone is working. Hello, everybody. How's it going? Let me know if my mic isn't working in the comments. Welcome back. Today is episode 11 of this little activity we're doing here. For everybody, I know some people have been there every episode so far, so it's good to see you again. And I hope that you're starting to see how just doing a little bit, 15 minutes every few days, can keep that thread alive, can keep that story going. You're entering your sixth week of writing, and so I think that's really exciting. And I hope that you're starting to see how a little bit goes a long way. Today's activity is going to be all around the theme. Maybe you guessed it from the music. Oh, good, the sound. My sound guy, Rob Denton, who's been giving me lots of good sound advice, says it sounds good, so that's good. Today we have a new theme that we're going to write around. So I just want you to start thinking about your story, start thinking about your characters. If you have no clue what you're writing, or this is like your first episode that you're watching of us, you can just dive in with any idea that you want. There's no wrong idea. You can write as though you know exactly what you're writing about and just make it up as you go. But also, you can also go back and watch the 10 past episodes. Those activities can work over and over and over again. So take your time. If you're just joining us today, that's okay. Just start where you're at today. So today, I was looking for a theme that we could play with that's really important. And I thought of the idea of letting go. Letting go is so fundamental to storytelling. And often, even though a lot of stories focus on what we get and what we gain and what we conquer and what we take and how we change and how we grow and how we become something new and get something more, the counterintuitive storyline of almost every story is what we let go, what we release, what changes, what dissipates in the air, right? And if you look at almost any story in history, there's a gaining and a getting, but there's also a letting go, and it's that letting go that gives us the real catharsis. Catharsis is the theater word, right? As old as ancient Greece. We go to theater, we go to see stories so that we can let go of an energy, so we can release something. Sometimes you're going to want your audience to let go in a really powerful, positive way. Sometimes you're going to want your audience to let go of their complacency or let go of their innocence or let go of their ignorance, right? Letting go isn't always letting go of a bad thing so we can get a good thing. Sometimes we let go of complicated things, right? So today I want us to look at letting go as a theme, and where does it land in your story? I'm going to give you some 1-minute writing bursts, and I want you to just write. Letting go is the theme, so I want you to write like you're letting go. I want you to release something out of yourself, which means keep the pen moving. Don't stop writing. You can write in point form. You can just list words. You can stop in the middle of a sentence and move on. It's your free writing. So I want you to let it go and let it be messy, messy Jesse, right? And then the other thing, I'm going to ask you different questions. Some of them are going to be about your story. Some of them are going to be about your process. So I want you to just keep listening. Every minute or so, I'm going to give you a new cue to write around. Keep your pen moving. Some of the writing is going to merge into the other writing. So if you want to stay on a thread, just keep going. If you want to start a whole new thread, go for it. But the main thing is follow the directions. Don't start creating something else that's outside of the directions, because I have like a system that I'm working with. Not like a system. I have a system that I'm working with here. So follow the system. We're going to do 4 sets of 1-minute writing, and then we're going to do a longer 2 or 3 minute burst at the end. If you get a great idea for your story and you're like, that's the idea I've been waiting for, eureka, it'll stay. Just put it on the back burner and keep following the system that we're doing today. This isn't about cracking open one moment of your story. This is about cracking open the whole energy of your story. So maybe you're going to get a great quote or a great idea. Let it sit. If it's meant to be in your story, it'll come back. Just focus on the job. Where do we want to start today? So one of the reasons why what I do as a writer, I'll talk about that after. Let's just start writing. So get your pen and paper ready. Please don't type if you have to because of a disability. That's okay. But if you can, just write. Writing connects your head, your heart, through your hand, through your body, right? It's a different form of writing. If you're typing, you're probably editing. So free writing, blah, blah, blah. Oh my gosh, I always talk so much at the beginning. So for the first minute, I want you to close your eyes for a second. I want you to picture the story that you might be writing, some of the characters you might be playing with. If you have no clue, then just think of a situation. Like, this is going to be a story about somebody on lockdown during quarantine, or this is going to be a character inspired by my sister, whatever you want to do. We're just exploring today. We're data dumping, no pressure. So for the first minute, I want you to think about anger. Anger is often one of the main things in stories that we have to let go, or one of the main elements of a story that's holding back the characters, holding back the transition. So for 1 minute, I just want you to write, where does anger sit in your story? How does anger come out in your story? Or how could it come out? You can write point form, whatever. You're going to write for 1 minute, anger. Where is anger in this story? Just go. Oh, the fly cam's not working. Oh, just go. Random notes. You're not writing a story. Anger. Maybe no one's angry. Or it's hidden anger. Is there anger underneath? Any images, emotions related to the anger, if there is any? "15 more seconds. Answer that question. Where is anger in this story? Where? "10 more seconds. Okay, the next thing is I want you to look at regret. Regret. Is there any regret in the world of your story? In the characters of your story? Where does regret sit? And maybe it blends into the anger. 1 minute, regret. Maybe your story happens after regret, before regret. What are we holding on to in this story? What do we need to let go of? "30 more seconds. Maybe there's something in this story that if we don't do it, we're going to regret it later. "10 more seconds. Okay, for 1 minute, I want you to picture the world of your story. Don't just picture one character unless you don't know more than one character, then just picture the one character. But try to picture the whole world around that character. Maybe the character is the opposite of their world. Or maybe the character doesn't fit into their world. Or maybe their character is going to learn how to be different from their world. I don't know. But I want you to look at the whole world, the society, or the environment. It depends if you're how literal your story is. But I want you to think, what does this world of this story, not the real world, the world of this story, maybe the world is real in your story, but not necessarily. I want you to think, what does this world need to release? What are they holding on to too tight? What do they need to release? There's more than one answer, that's okay. The world around my character needs to let go of something. They're holding on. Maybe they're holding on to my character. But let's try to explain that, free write around that, be messy, 1 minute, go. What does the world of this character need to let go of? What are they holding on to? It could be optimism. It's just 1 minute. Think about the world of this story. You're not stuck how you started. "30 more seconds. 10 more seconds. What do they have to let go? Yell at the world. Tell them, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. 5 seconds. Any last words? Even one word. You're just scratching at the surface with this writing. You're not writing your story. You're trying to discover something. You have to let go of what you're thinking and write faster than your brain so that something comes out of you that surprises you, right? When we go to a play or we go to see a story, that's what we want. We want that feeling of being changed by something we witnessed. I just watched Midnight Gospel on Netflix. I don't know if you've seen this show, but episode 6, the last episode, it so fundamentally shook me up that I was sobbing hysterically, like on the couch, 2 a.m., sobbing hysterically. And the feeling, it cracked me open so much that the feeling I had after was like a complete release. It wasn't even like a complete release. It was a complete release. It fundamentally let something go out of me. I had the catharsis feeling. And there's nothing we hate more. Actually, the one thing we hate more than going to see a story, reading a story, or watching a play or a movie, the only thing we hate more than feeling nothing is almost feeling that catharsis and it stopping short. In order to get that full feeling, I feel like the artist has to go there, right? The artist has to be in control of it and go there. They have to have that catharsis to give the audience that catharsis. They have to let something go in order to let the audience let something go. Let the audience feel like they're in safe, capable, emotional hands, right? And I don't believe that theater is therapy. I don't believe that it's only therapy, but I think part of the process is processing and giving that process to people. I think there is something to be said about catharsis being a shared energy. So for 1 minute, I want you to write how, maybe you, this is way too soon too, but just have fun with it. Who cares? Maybe you don't know, but try. How is your audience feeling when they leave that story? What are you giving them? What are they letting go? What are they getting? Maybe they're not getting anything. Maybe you're leaving them an empty vessel with new eyes, and that's enough. But what are they letting go? What are they releasing? 1 minute. How is your audience changing, transforming, letting go, coming out different after this story? And if you don't know, because you haven't written it, how do you want them to feel after? What's your motive, right? 1 minute, go. Be ambitious. Be big about it. Maybe you could change the world with this story. How are you changing it? 30 seconds. Ten more seconds. What's the catharsis of this play? Why do we need this play? So if I had more time with you, the next 2 things I would have you do, and this is what I want you to do. This was your warm-up, so maybe just stay for 30 more minutes in your writing if you can, right? You don't have to. This could be enough to keep the thread alive, but stay in it a little longer. I want you to think about, what are you holding on to as a writer? What do you need to let go of? Maybe it was a bad comment or a bad experience. Maybe it was a time you tried a system and it didn't work. Whatever it is, maybe it's thinking I'm not talented, I'm not good enough. Whatever you need to let go, I want you to write about that for 1 minute after this workshop. And then the other thing then you're ready to write from your character's perspective. You've thought about the bigger picture of anger, regret, holding on. You've thought about society, the world around your character, what they're holding on to. You've thought about the audience, who's hearing this, what are they releasing? You've written about yourself and what are you releasing, what are you letting go? And hopefully all of that can align into something where you're ready to write the actual story. You're ready to write the actual character's voice or the actual narrative plot. Right? The idea is like, let's do some sideways writing to build towards being really clear what we're writing about. So all those theses align. Your character is going through something that the artist is going through, that the audience is going through, that the world is going through. And when you can align all those catharsises together, it's powerful, right? And then the other thing is when you're like, I'm not talented enough, I'm not good enough, I can't do this. If you're aligned with a purpose, it's going to get you back to that writing. If you're doing this because you want to help people understand how ignorant they are and how much society needs to understand a subject That's a purpose that's beyond just my talent, my writing. If you're trying to release people and help them find God, help them find the devil, help them find love, help them find hate, help them find whatever. If you're trying to bring people somewhere emotionally, it kind of is less important what you're doing as the artist, and it's more about being honest and honoring that emotion that you're digging out of people, right? When you align with something bigger than just your own story, your own talent, you have more motivation. So that's it for today. I hope you're letting go. Really do those little 2 other exercises for me. I'm sorry we didn't have time for it. And if you're finding the gap between Monday and Friday, join me again on Friday. Where is that? Join me again on Friday. Where's the thing? Ow. Join me again on Friday at 10:15 a.m. And if you're finding that gap in between is too long and you're wanting to keep 15 minutes a day going, I really suggest it. So if you're not sitting down and being disciplined and setting a timer for 15 minutes and going, then what I want you to do is I want you to go back and use those videos. They're 15 minutes, there's 10 of them, and all those activities work time and time again. Why don't you share which one you liked so far? I noticed, by the way, that, sorry, this is my last thing, I know I'm over time, but the one that got the least amount of views so far is the whole body writing video from last Friday. And I think that that has a lot to do with how unwilling people are to let go of their habits, to experiment with their art, right? People are like, whole body writing, I'm not a dancer, I don't do that. So they're not even clicking it. And that's okay, I forgive you, I let that go. But I'm just saying, if you're not willing to be an artist and to explore your art and to make it personal and make it political and make it interesting and psychological and all these things and physiological, if you're not willing to be an artist, you're just being a writer. And being a writer is great if you want to do like content for a top 10 list. But if you want to be an artist and contribute to the world of art, you got to go deep. You got to do the work. You got to feel it through your whole body. So thank you all. Thanks, Craig. Thanks, Joanna. Thanks, Rob. I'll talk to you guys soon. And have a safe week. Watch those other videos. Like and share if you can.